Okay. Let's see. That looks good. Hope you can hear me okay. This looks all right. I would like to get it a bit closer. There you go. Perfect, huh? Cool. So, make sure I can see my chat over here. Are we ready? I think we're ready. Let me just make sure that this is down far enough. Okay. 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 Why is that so? Sorry, I'm having issues with this. I want it to point down. Down. It's hard to do this when you're looking at the freaking screen. Okay. Is that good enough, I think? I mean, there, now you can see my lap. Actually, I would like to put something on my lap. I don't have a towel or anything. So I got this wonderful mohair blend from Happy Goat Lucky You, which is a goat and sheep farm about 3 miles down the road from my house. And I'm in the process of actually purchasing some of my very first sheep from her. So while I was there taking a tour of the farm, I bought roving. So this is the mohair because she has mohair or Angora goats. I bought another couple of types of roving as well. So there's this, which is 100% merino wool. It's just scrumptious and I love it. And this is also 100% merino wool. Moon Shadow merino wool with a touch of Angelina and Teeswater. And it's also got, you probably can't see it under the camera, maybe if I move it. It's got some sparkles in it too. So I can't wait to start these ones, but I really wanted to do the mohair first. The mohair, Angora, whatever. It's goats. It's goats. This is goat. So my goal as of late has been to spin yarn that is consistent and thin, but I'm also trying to work with the fiber. So instead of fighting the fiber, I want to work with it so that, you know, um, I get something that's more um, natural looking. So the one thing I will say about this particular preparation is that it's got a lot of vegetable matter in it. So some of the big pieces I've been picking out, but I haven't been worrying about it too much. A lot of it will fall out as I go through and spin. And the stuff that doesn't fall out, I'll just pick it out when I'm using the yarn. So I got 4 ounces of each of these wool preparations. So my goal is if I can, you know, if I can spin super thin, then I'll get a lot more yarn. So we'll see. Um, Also, I don't know if anyone's been by lately and saw that I had my chicken cam up. We just purchased 15 baby chicks, 5 different breeds, and they're in the other room right now. we bought a camera so that a wireless camera so that we could stream the babies as they grow up. And right now I can't get it to work. So it was working yesterday just fine. I restarted the thing. I can't get it to work. So once that's up and running, I'll have chicken cam up in the corner so that people can watch the chickens too. But for now, I'm just gonna work on this. So I've been watching a lot of um, videos online to see how other people are doing their spinning because I want to get better. Um, as with everything else, I am a self-taught spinner, just like I'm a self-taught knitter, self-taught crocheter. So everything that I know is from, watching YouTube videos, reading books, and screwing up. So I think it would actually do me good to get rid of this a little bit, to take a workshop or something, but um, I'm still sort of, since we just moved to the area, I'm still trying to get used to um, everything that's available here. So, okay, so this is where I left off with this blend. I really love the colors. They do some interesting mixing as you spin. So, let's get going. So I'm just going to touch that. And so one thing I found is that helps out a lot is if I just try to go really slow with my feet. I have a tendency to try to treadle way too fast. The other thing I'm trying to teach myself to do is to use my right hand to pull back the fiber instead of using my left hand to pull it forward. So it seems like a lot of the people who spin um, do it that way. And I'm still, because I'm changing the way that I did things, I'm still getting used to it. Um, so you have to bear with me. See, it wanted to break, so let's try that again. Fortunately, joining up is pretty easy. So I might end up actually increasing the tension or something, but the other thing that I'm trying to do is trying to let the fiber decide the width of the yarn. And the way you do that is by just letting it grab on. So I don't know how well you can see that, but I'm letting the spin just into the fiber supply, just enough to grab on to some of the fiber. Um, so you'll see me do this restarting business a lot because I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So, I mean, that said, the yarn that I've been making is perfectly usable. I spun a singles of Cheviot yarn and am finishing up a pair of socks right now. Oops, look, there's some VM right there. See that? Let me just throw that to the side. And it's probably time for me to change to the next hook anyway. What was I saying? So socks, yeah, I made a pair of socks with a singles that I spun from Cheviot wool that I had actually dyed. And then I did a 2-ply Cheviot, dyed in a different colorway, and I'm turning that into a pair of fingerless gloves, and those have turned out fantastic. So plying for me is really the key to getting more consistent yarn. And I've been learning how to ply straight from the ball so that I don't, both so that I don't waste a bunch of fiber, but also so that I don't have multiple bobbins taken up at a single time. There we go. This fiber is particularly long because it is goat, and the gal over at Happy Goat Lucky only shears her animals once a year, so their fibers are very long. Something just made a noise. Oh, it's emails. So I don't know if you guys heard that or not. So trying to be very thin, consistent. Trying not to freak out if there's a little inconsistency, because a lot of that is taken care of when you ply, but really trying to just get the most out of my fiber. Um, so with the Cheviot that I'm turning into a, you know what, hold on a second. I'm going to increase the tension a skosh. There we go. Let's see if that does anything. With the Cheviot that I'm using for the fingerless gloves, what was I going to say? The consistency has just been really great. Um, the one for the socks, which was just a singles, it was not as great. And I know this is hand spun, so I shouldn't worry so much about things being perfect. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. So with the Cheviot that I spun, hold on a second, I was able to get 197 yards of yarn, about 2-ply yarn, out of 2.5 ounces of fiber. And it's because I was spinning rather thin. Um, and I actually kind of prefer to spin thin, so that's fine with me. Because I could also double up if I needed to. If I really wanted a thicker yarn, I could just take 2 strands of a thinner yarn. Okay, so I'm just trying to let the fiber determine what happens here. It's not very easy. Oh, see, I got something on my phone. What was that? Oh, so it was a Twitter notification. So I just had surgery. I guess it's almost 2 weeks now at this point. I lost a week of my life for what we thought was appendicitis, and it turns out it wasn't appendicitis. Instead, it was a burst ovarian follicle or ovarian cyst. And it caused so much pain that after trying to wait it out for a couple of days, I decided to go to the ER. When they did a CT scan, it looked to everybody as though I had a ruptured appendix. But I didn't. What they were picking up on the CT scan was the cyst that had exploded. But they went ahead and actually removed my appendix anyway. I had my follow-up appointment today, and the surgeon said that this is gross, that my appendix was actually adhered to my peritoneum, the wall of my abdomen, which he said could cause pain and flare-ups. So they just took it out. Even though I didn't have appendicitis in the, common sense of appendicitis, what's commonly known as appendicitis. So now I don't have an appendix, but also he said I didn't have any more ovarian cysts, so that's great too. So my innards are doing great. Interesting. It doesn't look like Stream Elements or Streamlabs made an announcement that I was streaming. Though I did put announcements on um, Twitter, both my Twitter accounts. So I know that you can't tell through the camera, but this fiber feels great. It is so soft, um, so silky smooth, and part of that is because it's so long. I'm gonna adjust this. It's looking pretty good, but I would like to just stretch this out a little bit. I don't like to do a ton of pre-drafting. I think it's a pain in the ass. But in this case, this roving, well, it's actually more combed top. So I'm trying to make it more roving-like by stretching it out some, by drafting it. And that makes it a little bit easier for the fibers to hang together. So yeah, I'm having a conversation with this woman about purchasing some sheep. waiting for her to get back to me. It takes her forever to email me back. So what she did today was she emailed me with a list of sheep and their micron counts. And so that I can pick out what sheep I want. Well, I wrote back to her and I said, I am less concerned with micron count than I am with a ewe who is a proven mother who's been bred and has raised successful lambs. Um, I mean, yeah, it would be really nice to have a sheep on the lower end of the micron count scale, but that comes secondary to a good mom. So the idea is I'm going to buy a ewe from her, a pregnant ewe, so that I will have the ewe and then her lamb, and that'll be the start of my flock. And so we're thinking that's going to happen sometime in December or January. So I will have a mama, and I'll have a baby, and it'll be the beginning of my new life. So you could bet we'll probably have animal cams for the sheep too. And frankly, they might just live in the house to begin with, because we have a dog room. So actually, off to the side there is a. It looks like it used to be a patio, um, a walkout patio, and they enclosed it um, because the woman who was one of the owners that we purchased the house from was a veterinarian, and she used to board dogs, and so that's the room that they used to board the dogs in, and it's completely enclosed. It's got heating and air conditioning. It has water running to it, electricity, um, and access to the outside. So um, when I get my ewe, I'm just gonna probably put her in there because it'll be winter and I want to keep her and her baby nice and warm. So I'll just throw a bunch of hay in there and that's where they'll hang out. And of course, mom will have access to outside as much as she wants. And then the baby can hang out inside. And by that time, my chicks will have feathered out enough that they'll be moving to the coop. Because right now, the chicks are in that room in a stock tank. So I'm very excited to have all of this happening right now. Look how thin that is. Probably too thin. But like I said, I'm trying to make it as thin as the fiber wants to be. So I'm letting it catch and then I'm drafting. I'm letting it catch. And again, it's not 100% consistent. Um, I've been advised that we don't need to worry too much about consistency because that's the beauty of hand spun, is that every hand spun yarn is 100% unique um, because every spinner spins differently. But I would rather that I'd rather that my yarns aren't like massively chunky and thin. So I really like to go for more consistency. But something I also learned from visiting the farm, the sheep farm, is that while she does keep quite a lot of fiber to hand spin, Most of the yarn that she sells from her fiber is actually produced in a mill. So she sends her wool off to a mill and gets it processed there, which is totally doable. The other cool thing is that there is a fiber cooperative in town, a fiber collective. So all of the people raising sheep around here, well, not all of them, but many of them will get together and they will combine their wool and send it to the mill at the same time, and then they get discounted prices for doing it in bulk. So definitely a community I want to be a part of and something that I'd like to get in on. It's just so cool to learn that that stuff is in this area because I didn't know about that before we chose the house. We chose the house um, because of the land, but also because of its proximity to my husband's work and the fact that it has high-speed internet, which many of the properties I was looking at didn't. It had some like janky rural internet, and it was really important for my husband to have high-speed internet for both for streaming, but also from working from home. So you know what? I'm gonna go up a little bit so that you can see more of me and what I'm doing here. You know, and the lighting's not great, so what I'm gonna do is turn off this overhead light. It sounds counterintuitive, but I think it'll make the light in here nicer. I've got a nice light set up here. Right. So you can see all the wool on my lap. Um, if I'd been thinking more forwardly, I would have a towel or something on my lap, but I didn't. So, okay. So I think you can see just fine. Yeah? Right. Oh no, wants to reattach. There we go. It is too bad that the chicken cam's not working. I have to figure out what the heck is going on with it. I tried restarting the thing and it didn't seem to work, so. So I said that this was a mohair blend, but I can tell she definitely included some of the merino in here. Like the light purple is definitely merino, but I think it's the gray that is the goat hair. Just trying to go for consistency and length. I read somewhere that really talented spinners can get something like 80 skeins of yarn from a pound of wool. 80. 80. I am definitely not that talented yet. And actually, I could show you um, the yarn I just finished yesterday, which is a 2-ply Cheviot. Cheviot, of course, being a different breed of sheep. I'll show you what that looks like. So I was pretty actually disappointed by this because I only ended up getting 138 yards out of it. Whereas the one that I did prior, that was also Cheviot, came out to 196. So you can see it's over twisted in some places. I really struggled with this one. So, you know, I'm still learning, and the only way to learn is to keep on going. Fortunately, roving isn't that expensive, so it'll be even better once I have my own animals. Okay, I'm running into an issue here where this is, see how it's separating? I want this to go back in here. Let's try to smoosh it a little bit back together. Okay. My seat is too far away. There we go. Another thing that I'm trying is that I initially had my wheel set up as a double drive, and it was just causing me issues because I felt like I didn't have so much control over the wheel. So I've set it up as a single drive, and it seems to be helping quite a lot, actually. And if you don't know what that means, that's fine. You don't need to know what that means. I'm really happy that I bought the Ashford traditional wheel, though, because it gives you the option of many different setups. So you can do double drive or single drive. You can, you know, there's different ways to adjust the tension. You can do different um, ratios with the main wheel and bobbins. I have not messed with ratios yet, but it's definitely something I could do. I just need to learn more about it. So I definitely want to take like a spinning class or something. I have to see if I can find. So there is a place in town in East Lansing that teaches spinning, but it's for beginners. And so I would not consider myself a beginner. I would consider myself intermediate. Maybe not quite intermediate. Whatever comes before intermediate, like after beginner, before intermediate. Novice? That sounds pretty good. Novice? I'm a novice. So one of the challenging things is sometimes it feels like the wool is going to get pulled out of your hand, and you have to let it kind of sit and let some of the twist in, and it sort of fixes the problem. So again, a lot of this stuff you just learn by sitting here and doing it. It's really fascinating though that how the wool really, this is going to sound dumb, but it kind of has its own personality. And so depending on what you're spinning, um, you're going to get different characteristics. See how that wants to pull out of my hand? So I'm going to try to let some more spin in. There we go. And then that'll wrap up some of the other fiber. But even if I do get a break, like if this happens, it's not a problem because I just add it back to my fiber supply and let it join. And so sometimes I'll actually break it on purpose because it's getting too thin or something. Um, so I can thicken up a thin part by breaking and rejoining. So I hope everyone's having a good day. Like I said, my day actually started off really early. I got up at 6. My husband is traveling for work, so it's just us girls now at home. And my daughter's not feeling well, so I got her ready for school and then got her on the bus. And then I went to the doctor's office for my post-op checkup and got a call from school saying that my daughter was sick and wanted to come home. So then I went and picked up her, and then we went and got some stuff from the store because she needed cough drops and soup. And so then I brought her home, and now she's resting. And I decided rather than doing housework, I was just going to spin for a while. I should have brought myself some water. I'm getting thirsty. I'm actually really pleased with how this is going. This is going really well for me. I don't know what that means. Maybe that means I'm getting better. I also have no idea what I'm going to do with this yarn. Maybe I'll give it away if somebody wants if I get up to, so I'm at, it says 72, it didn't update. I have 73 followers. I gained a follower last night during the chicken stream. Once I get up to 80, I'm going to do a giveaway. I don't know what it's going to be yet. It could be a custom hand spun yarn. It could be something that I knit or crochet. And if it's something knit or crochet, it's going to be something small. If it's a custom skein of yarn, it's going to be a smaller skein. But it's negotiable. I've done giveaways in the past, and those have always been really fun. So my next goal is 80 followers. I probably should have a sub goal too. My sub goal would be one. One subscription. As I become a more regular with my streaming. So I'm just trying to keep my left hand at the point of the twist to control how much twist goes into the fiber. And I'm using my right hand to pull back and also pick out vegetable matter. And I let a little bit of the twist into the fiber supply and then pull back, and the fiber will pull out the right amount for me. So it really is like working with the fiber. It's just getting used to that can be tricky. And this is a particularly long fiber because it's the Angora goat and merino mix. Oh, like I said, it feels really great. It's super soft. I love the colors. Just trying to go slow. Be consistent so I can get as much length out of this as possible. I mean, so I paid $20 for 4 ounces of this fiber, which was prepared as a comb top and it was already dyed. There's a lot of VM in here though. So $20 for 4 ounces. I'm just going to try to make it as long as I can. And then that'll translate into more yarn. I do plan on plying this. So it'll be a 2-ply. But it's so thin that it'll be like sock weight. I don't know how much I'm going to get. Like if I wanted to do something like a really nice shawl, I need like freaking 800, 900 yards. Probably not going to get that much. But I could use it to make some socks or some really fine gloves or something. Or maybe even a scarf or cowl. So just let it twist and then I pull out fiber. So it kind of tells me what it wants to do. And then I'm using my left hand to smooth out the yarn, the singles. And I do always forget. I'm supposed to be pulling back with my right hand, and I often forget. Whoopsie. Actually, almost to the end of this part. Oh, there's a whole lot of vegetable matter here. So I'm going to pull it out. Like I said, I'm not too worried about it because even if it gets into the final yarn, I'll just pull it out when I'm knitting. It is not a big deal. That's how you know it's real. On the last little bit here. Look at that. It's like a big, it's just a piece of straw. I noticed that there's a lot of vegetable matter, especially with the goat hair, and I suspect that's because she sends her goats out to take care of brush, so they spend a lot of time actually in thistles and hay and whatnot. The she I'm referring to is the owner of the Happy Goat Lucky You farm in Mason, which is where I acquired my fiber and where I will be acquiring my first sheep. I'm trying to get rid of like the real blatant pieces. Always gets a little weird down by the end. It's harder to make it consistent at the end of a piece. Okay, look at that. That is so freaking gorgeous. Ah, I love it. Okay, I can see that there's a piece of vegetable matter. Okay, so I'm ready for my next length, and I'm actually going to make one that's not quite as long this time because it was hanging on the floor. And that's where I've been throwing the vegetable matter. So there we go. So again, I'm going to start by pre-drafting it a little bit so it's not as unwieldy. So all she did here was to take, you know, 3 different kinds of fiber, and it looks like she probably ran it through um, a drone carder, and then you use something called a diz to pull it off. Uh, to make turn a bat into a like roving or comb top. So that's looks like what she did there. All right. Ready to continue. So to connect it, you just touch it and it starts to wind itself on. And I'm gonna have a big ball there, but that's okay. It's not that noticeable. It's only a little bit noticeable. I mean, right now, all this is doing is feeding my yarn habit. So instead of buying yarn, I've been buying wool and spinning the wool into yarn, which, has the same end result, except that there's an extra step in the process. And I am fine with that. I just love wool. So if I do get some pieces that are thicker, I just try to like kind of squish them between my fingers. Or I'll hang on to it for a little longer so that it gets a little more tightly spun. And it usually gets rid of them. Slubs, I think they're called. You know what? I just realized I never updated my stream description. I'm going to do that right now. So people are probably coming on here like expecting to see chickens. And then they see some lady spinning yarn. What the hell's that about? Yeah, look at that. You doof? Hold on, I'm going to change this. Title. Let's change this to, what should we change it to? Makers and crafting. Yarn. Spinning. Nope. Knitting. We'll call it. And crochet. Those are my crowd. That's my crowd. Because yarn isn't one of them. Gosh, they changed all the tags, so IRL? No? In? Real? Nope. What else could we call it? I don't know. Now we'll update the information. And I also want, I'm going to do this real quick while I have this here. Streamlabs. Let's see if I can upload this stupid thing. So right now it says 72. Why does it still say 72? It should say 73. What the what? Follower goal. Why isn't it updating? Whatever. I'm not going to mess with it right now. Anyway. Okay. Things are updated. That's all updated. Hopefully if I go look at this now. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if it fixed it. No, it still says chicken cam. Oh well. Okay, update that. Try it again. Here. There we go. I updated it and now it looks like it fixed itself. Okay. Oh, it looks like Serenadi's on. All right. Let's go back to what I was doing. Oh, why is my follower count only at 72? So irritating. Man. Looking to see if the gal from whom I'm buying my sheep, wanted to see if she'd written back to me yet. She's busy. She's always very busy. So, okay, what was I doing? Trying to squish this back together some. Okay. I'm too far away. That's better. Don't go that direction. Now people will know why to come here. Now that I'm properly tagged. Wonder how many people came here like expecting chickens and then found me and got pissed off and left. No one said anything, so. Gotta remind me to update the shit. Woo. Oops. See, this is why I need to be pulling back and not pulling with my left hand. It's a hard habit to break. It's a hard habit to break. Bet you didn't expect to have a little Chicago in your stream, huh? Come on. Pull back. I'm learning. It's okay. I'm just learning still. Still, I would say, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I've seen some people's beginner yarn, and it's not good. Mine actually looks pretty good. Um, like I said, it's not 100% consistent, but some would argue you don't want consistency when in a hand spun yarn. I'm a perfectionist, so I do. I don't know what this is. I keep getting this white stuff. It's probably dander. Mm-mm. Yum, goat dander. I mean, that's what you get when you work with animal fiber. You get everything that comes with it, including delicious dander. That really wants to stick together. Come on. What is going on here? I've got this big piece that just doesn't want to pull apart. There we go. It's very highly twisted too, so that's better. So I'm going to smooth it with my fingers. There we go. I actually think I prefer to spin wool that has already been dyed because it's a lot more interesting. It's just interesting to see how the colors blend than it is to do white wool. Which, I mean, depending on what you're doing, sometimes you want to do the dyeing after you've already spun the yarn. But I really do think I prefer uh, spinning prepared wool that has been dyed already. Also, the dye does something to the consistency, or that's not really right word. Um, it just changes the characteristic of the fiber in some ways. It makes it a little bit easier to hang on to. This guy is just full of particulate. See how it wanted to get away from me there? But I thwarted its plans, its dastardly plans. I like that I'll get some sections that are just one color and then other sections that are, okay, this is way too thin, so we're just gonna do this. Wait till it picks up some. Shay's not picking up anything. Come on. Come on. There we go. It's really interesting. So I first started streaming I want to say like a year and a half ago now. Um, and that was very shortly after creative streaming started. And there were a ton of us. And there are so few of the original people that used to stream. I mean, I see Beetle at Bay and I see Lioness and sometimes Needy Bird, but very few of the people who were around when I first started are still doing it. Or I'm just an idiot and haven't seen them. I don't know. I mean, I follow most of these people too on Twitter, and I don't see announcements for them or anything, so I don't know. I mean, that's part of why I want to change up what I'm doing here. So it's not always going to be me doing crochet and knitting. It's also going to be the animals and farm work. Though obviously it's going to be more crochet and knitting in the winter because there's not as much farm work to do. Also, I got to figure out like a whole system for streaming while I'm out in the field because I don't know how that's going to work out. So if anyone has any suggestions for setups or cameras or um, some way to hold my phone, I need like a body cam or a GoPro that can stream. I don't know if such things exist. Probably what I should do is to find other people who have similar, who are doing those things already, and see if I can't figure out what setup they're using. But if anyone has any suggestions, I'm all ears. So we're starting with chickens, 15 hens, 5 different breeds. We're going to have at least a couple of merino sheep. So my plan right now is to purchase a pregnant ewe. Um, Possibly some goats if I hear back from the seller. And then I will, over time, very slowly and surely, be expanding my flock. I'm also interested in getting started with rabbits, some Angora rabbits. I've never kept rabbits as pets before. I've had guinea pigs, and I know they are very different. So I need to do me some reading up before I get going with rabbits. We're also going to do bees starting in the spring. So there will be sheep and goats, chickens, maybe rabbits, and bees. Plus all the things I'm going to plant, which is lots. I'm going to plant all the things. So I talk to people about my plans and what I want to do, and they're like, "Why would you be a farmer? You're not going to make a living being a farmer." Well, first of all, yes, depending on how much I can actually grow and produce for my family, I will make exactly that, a living. Um, am I going to make a ton of money? No, but I don't want to make a ton of money. I've never been interested in making a ton of money. I mean, like, how much money do you need anyway? Enough to, like, buy the things that you need and be comfortable, pay your bills. That's fine. I don't need more money than that. And my husband works. He's got a big boy job, and he makes enough money to pay for all that stuff. So we can afford our house and our land and the animals and groceries, paying for our mortgage and car payments. Actually, I don't. Yes, we do have car payments now because we were leasing our one vehicle and now we bought it. The other one is paid off. Beyond that, what do you need a bunch of money for? We have enough money to go on vacations every couple of years. And nice vacations. I mean, we went to Disney. We've been there twice now, actually. Though I hope that we mix things up a little bit. Because as much as I like going to Disney, I don't want to always be going to Disney. There are other places that I would like to go. Things I'd like to see. So, is farming profitable? Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what you are considering to be the currency. For me, it's not being stressed out. It's being happy. It's being able to provide for my family. It's doing the things that I love. Um, yeah, that's worth a lot more to me than being a professor making 60,000 and being freaking stressed out all the time and never having time to do the things that I want to do because I'm busy doing other things that aren't as important or as interesting to me. And I mean, yeah, when I was bringing in $60,000 a year, our combined income was pretty great. Um, but all we were doing was saving that money. We weren't doing anything with it. It was just like extra. And it's nice to have extra, I suppose, but it's just we didn't need it. I'm getting down to the end now again, so it's getting a little weird. I think maybe I should work on my website a little bit tonight too, so I can get that up and running. You know what I need money for actually? What I do need to raise money for is um, I want to renovate our unattached garage so I can turn it into a classroom and my studio. Because right now it's just a garage. Um, and it needs to be a space, you know, that I can work in. Um, but I also want it to be my classroom, so it needs to be inviting and comfortable. And it also is going to serve as my store. So yes, I do need money for that. Um, and it's not all going to happen right away. I know. I know. I'm going to have to wait. You know, I hate waiting. I want everything to happen now, but I gotta wait. So the other thing I need to raise money for is a barn. Because I would like a legit barn. And once I have a barn, I need to run electricity and water out to it. But then I will greatly be able to expand the operations around here. But we can start with small stuff. And it might take years. But I'm going to be 40 this year, so I figure I got at least another 20 years in me. What do you think? Before I die? Hopefully I don't die by the time I'm 60. But who knows? All right, to the end of that little batch. So we're going to go down here. I feel pretty good about this. It's pretty thin. It's been more or less consistent. Get to the, there we go. I also have, can you see all this on my lap? This is vegetable matter and sort of excess fiber that's just been getting on my pants. Most people are smart and put a towel on their lap. So you know what I'm going to do? It's been an hour and a half. I'm going to go get something to drink. And then I'm going to get a towel for my lap. And I'm going to come back and, hey, stop doing that. You see what just happened? Bastard. Wrap that around there. Stay. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go get myself a refreshment. I'm going to get a towel for my lap. And I'll be back. So, hi. Let me be right back. All right, I'm back. Hi. Hello, hello. I know my setup's a little weird, but okay. I guess I could have spent some time trying to figure out the chicken cam, but I didn't, so. No chicken cam for you. I'll try to figure it out later. Okay, I just brought a kitchen towel. I don't know what side to put down. Um, if you're wondering why I'm wearing sweatpants, it's because I had surgery just a short time ago, and um, I have an incision that is in a place not conducive to pants. At all. It hurts, actually. So I've been wearing skirts and um, sweatpants for the last couple weeks. Mm, I guess it's not quite 2 weeks. Let me think. I had the surgery on Labor Day, so it was the 2nd, and today is the 10th, so 10 days ago. I had surgery 10 days ago on my abdomen. Um, so sweatpants it is. But now you get to look at this handy dandy and very nice kitchen towel rather than my sweatpants. Okay, so here is where we are. This is what I've spun so far. This is what's remaining of the half of the comb top. So I'm feeling pretty good because I still have all of this, and that's only half of what I have in this colorway. So, and in this fiber. Um, Something happened to the stream. It looks like it dropped down. Did I drop a bunch of frames? I dropped 100 frames. Well, I don't know what that's all about, but anyway, if you're back with me, then thanks for sticking in there, and hopefully that won't happen again. Sometimes our internet goes wonky for some reason. Oh, also, so I did get myself a drink. It is decaf coffee with hazelnut creamer. Not what I wanted. What I really wanted was a um, caffeine-free Diet Coke. And guess who's out of caffeine-free Diet Coke? Because someone's family has been drinking it. It's okay. It's all right. It's there for everybody. But mostly mom is the one who drinks it. And yet, it's gone now. And we just went to the store today. All I'm saying is if I'd known that it was gone, I would have bought some more. Then I wouldn't have this unrequited craving for caffeine-free Diet Coke. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So again, um, the, the lavender color and the darker purple are both merino, and the mohair is the very dirty silver in the middle. So yeah. Okay. So I did a little bit of pre-drafting just to make things a little bit easier to hang on to. Before I get going again, I'm going to check my email. Oh, look, I have a coupon for my veterinary hospital. Okay. But no, the seller hasn't gotten back to me yet. I'm so excited about it, but in reality, like the sheep won't be ready until December or January, so I need to like not be so excited. I need to calm the F down. I've wanted sheep for so long now. Um, so I used to actually work at the Toledo Zoo, which is one of the finest zoos in North America. Um, when I was 19, I got a job working in the children's zoo, the petting zoo. And the person who was the manager at the time decided we were all going to have an animal that was we will be our specialty. So we were going to like learn everything there was to learn about that animal so that, when people came to the petting zoo, we could tell them all about it. And we were primarily responsible for that animal. Well, I picked the sheep. We had 4 little baby Suffolk cross lambs, and I fell in love with them. And my 19-year-old self said, one day I'm going to have sheep. And I've never forgotten that. And now here I am 20 years later, 21 years later, and I'm finally getting my sheep. So if there's something that you wanted when you were young that hasn't happened yet, don't worry, it can still happen. I certainly didn't think that I was going to have all the experiences that I've had. I've just sort of I've just sort of gone with it. Stuff happens, and you have to just sort of accept certain things, and then always tell yourself, you know what, stuff's going to work out. Somehow things are going to work out in whatever way that they need to. But you don't have to be miserable. You do what you have to do for as long as you have to do it. But if you're miserable and you have the capability to change your situation, then do it. Don't stay miserable. That said, I realize how very privileged I am as a highly educated, white, middle class woman who has a job or a husband with who is gainfully employed. So it's easy for me to say, right? Though I think in general the premise remains the same. If you're unhappy doing what you're doing, you know, at least try. At least look around and see what options there may be available to you and see what you can act on. Because if you just get complacent and think to yourself, this is it, there's nothing I can do about it, I am helpless to change my situation. I mean, that might be the case. Maybe there isn't anything that you can do, but a lot of the times there's at least something you can do. So you should, I mean, it bears looking into. That is not to say that people who have it rough um, haven't been doing that, because sometimes it's all you can do to, keep your head above water. Again, it's easy for me to say, right? We should never blame people for where they find themselves, because sometimes you can't help it. And sometimes there are going to be people who are doing everything that they can to try to meet their goals, make their dreams come true, and there are other factors that are keeping them from doing that. And there are going to be certain types of people in our society who have the deck stacked against them. And as it is, I come from, I mean, I have demographically, I come from mostly privileged circumstances. I mean, I'm a woman and I'm disabled, so those are, those contribute to societal problems I have to overcome. But I'm still white, still middle class, still highly educated, and that counts for a lot. And that is why I try to be a good ally to people who aren't as privileged as I am. And it's also why I just always try very hard to recognize and acknowledge the fact that I have this privilege. Because I could easily go around and, try to be one of these motivational speakers who's like, you just got to think positive. Well, okay, that's part of it. Thinking positively is definitely part of it. But it's only a small part of it. Because there's lots of other things we have to take into consideration. What I'm saying is the whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps argument is bullshit. So I don't know how I got here on this particular topic. I'm just waxing philosophical at this point. Look, look at you. What is this? I don't know how much of this I'm actually gonna get through today. I should be able to fit all 4 ounces on the one bobbin. So the other thing that I have been, I might have already mentioned this. The other thing that I've been trying to learn how to do, or at least improve, is the ability to ply from a center pull ball. So basically, you ply from all the material, all the yarn that you've spun onto a single bobbin. And then there's no waste. And it's tricky, but I've done it twice now. And it's tricky. But I got some very good usable yarn from it. So I'm definitely going to keep trying to do that because I don't like wasting fiber, especially when I'm paying $20 for 4 ounces of it. Okay, this is just gross. What? That's dirt. This is a piece of dirt. Get out of there. You don't want dirt. This goat was very, very dirty. Very dirty goat. I don't know if you can see, but the merino is perfectly beautiful and clean. It's the goat hair that's dirty. Damn dirty goats. Tis my husband. Okay, he's in his hotel. So he's out of town right now for work. Looks like he had a safe trip, and he is now in St. Louis. I went to St. Louis many years ago. Oh, he took a picture. Yes, he can see the arch. Yep, I've been there. I've been in the arch. I went up in the arch, which is kind of terrifying. Okay, now my daughter's sending messages back to him. I'm just gonna turn the ringer off. Okay. I went to St. Louis a number of years ago for a conference. I don't remember which one. That was like over 10 years ago. Um, I went to the botanical gardens though, and I bought my husband a little bonsai tree, and we still have it, and it's still doing just great. Oh no. Okay, so things got a little bit crazy. Hold on a second. Let's just fix this. See, sometimes you just gotta stop and fix things. Oh, no, we don't like that. We don't want that. I'm gonna pull on this. Just try to get it to loosen up a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of this piece. It's no good to me. I'll wait for this to grab on. Come on. There we are. Oh, now I got a big knot. There we go. Oh, we got it. Nope, nope, we're good. Consistency. I'm still trying to pull back with my right hand and smooth it down with my left. And use the left hand to control the amount of twist getting into the fiber supply. And you can stop anytime if you need to scratch your nose or pick VM out. Still, it's a very rainy day today. Yesterday was, look at that. What is that? It's a flower. Oh, it's grass. Can you see? Probably not. Eh. Look at that. Look at the grass. Hey, focus in on my hand. Whatever. Yesterday was very hot and muggy and humid and gross, and then today's like 72 and rainy. That's one of the reasons, though, I like fall. I'm over summer. It was quite a hot summer. Hottest July on record for like the fifth or something year in a row. Wonder why that is. I seem to really struggle when I get down to the end of the bit that I'm holding in my hand. So that is something I need to work on. And this bit that I have actually doesn't have any goat hair in it anymore. I think I pulled it out. There's a little piece. Oh, where are we with her? So far, I'm super pleased with how this is turning out. Very thin, mostly consistent. A big section of pink. There we go. Just trying to squish it together. It'll look really cool when it's plied. And then it won't matter that there's like some parts that are just big long stretches of the same color. Because it'll be barber pulled with other colors. Come on. Okay, we just got all kinds of grossness happening at the end here. I'm gonna try to just pull it on there. Spin it for tightness. There. And now I'm ready to connect the next piece. Well, this towel thing is a great idea. Look how pretty it is. Here, let's see if I can get closer and show you. Oops, this way, down. You see? Oh, it's so pretty. Now let's get the camera back to where it was. There we go. It looks like some people got dropped. I wonder what happened. My daughter and husband are sending messages to each other. She's home from school sick today. She went to school, but asked to come home because she wasn't feeling up to it. Um, I knew she was not feeling well this morning, but wanted her to try, and she did, and it didn't work out. So I picked her up. Just gonna try to smush this together. I love spinning. I could do it forever. Mm, maybe not forever. Have to take poop breaks every now and then. That's right, I said it. Poop. Poop's a thing that happens to all people. So I'm just gonna take these little fibers and let them wrap around. And hold on, something's happening. Come on, why won't you go? There we go. That's better. Sometimes I think I just don't have my hands far enough apart. Or it's the goat fiber that's being a brat. So just slow down. Try to speed up your hands. Slow feet, fast hands is my mantra. I mean, ideally, you shouldn't have to put like hardly any pressure when you draft. You just pull back very easily. In reality, sometimes you pick up a little bit too much fiber, and then you got to do some uh, more forceful pulling. That is until you become more experienced. I definitely think attending a workshop or two would be helpful. Oh, I got an itch. That's one thing about working with fibers is sometimes you get some really massive itches in your nose. Oh, come on. Now it's getting too thin. Consistency. We can do it. We were doing so well. Hold on. There we go. Come on. Come on, Mang. Yeah. See, now I'm into the mohair again, and the fibers are a lot longer than the merino. So then you have to move your hands a lot farther apart. It's just, I mean, it's one of the challenges of using a mixed fiber like this. It's going okay. It's not perfect. See, look at how much it pulled out. Okay, so we're gonna break that, and then I'm gonna try to fix this a little bit. Because what's happening is because the goat hair is so much longer than the sheep wool, um, it's wrapping around itself much farther down, so it's just a little bit challenging. But I mean, I still think I'm doing pretty good, given the fact that it is, you know, mixed fiber. Let's try it. I think we can move to the next hook. I don't know. This piece is just, this is, I'm just having all kinds of trouble with this right now. See that? It's like thick and thin. Ugh. Trials and tribulations. Okay, I'm gonna try to move my hands a lot faster and see if that helps. It does seem to be a little bit better. I noticed that there's a lot of slubs in this section, particular section too. So I wonder if there's something wrong with the preparation. I don't know. It's just me. I'm the common denominator here. Oh, it wanted to break. Okay, that's okay. I was having trouble with it anyway. Coffee break. I read that you're supposed to be able to start and stop your wheel with your foot. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. I always have to give it a little push with my hand. How is it already 2:30? Well, 2:20. I gotta say, that's one of the things when you're spinning, time goes by real fast. I think it's just because you're so intent on what you're doing. Oh, I think we'll need to. It's also easy to forget to go up to the next hook. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. Oh, we're almost to the end of this piece. Okay. I can't keep up a constant pattern, so I'm sort of out. A lot of things to talk about. So if you're watching and you want to talk about something, feel free to type something in because I don't know what else to talk about. This is annoying me. I got this little bit left. And it's like splitting into the 3 different pieces. So I'm going to flip it around. How about that? I really like this fiber. It's just, man, I keep fighting it. It's a fighter, this one. We're getting down to the end again. There's like so much grass and stuff in this. Oops, don't go that way. Go that way. See, look at that. You see this spinning around? Oh, I'm hitting my lamp. Well, that's irritating. When did that start? I must have... Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to scooch this back a little bit. There. Look at it. It's so pretty. Nowhere near to filling up this bobbin either, so that's good. Of course, I still have quite a lot of the first half left. Let's do this in thirds. This, that. So I'm drafting it just the tiniest bit, but I'm mostly just trying to squish it together. So that seems to be the biggest problem I'm having with this is because of it's a mixed blend of mohair and merino wool. The merino's not as long as the goat's wool, so. Erg. All right. Continuing on. I think we can stay on this hook for just a little bit longer. Did you see that? Oh, that really didn't want to go. feel like I'm pulling it extra hard and it's just not going. If I have success with this one, then I can definitely be successful with the ones that aren't as tricky, right? I don't like how thick that came out. See, I can feel it all the way back here. Just gotta work with it. Just keep my hand back farther. Still looks awesome. That was a massive piece of straw. Oh my god, what did I do? Rookie error. It's getting really thin. Oops. We don't want it that thin. Come on. What is that? It got really super thin all of a sudden, so I don't know what that's all about. I'll give that to go for a second. I mean, that's almost like string thin. Let's see if I can bulk it up a little. There. I really like the natural color of the goat's hair because it's like a silver. Uh-oh. Stop talking. Remember when I said I was going for consistency? Oh well. Again, it's getting like all wrapped up, all backed up. Quit getting backed up. There we go. Just needed to let a little bit more out. I'm just really going with my foot like I got someplace to be. I need to slow down. Okay, I don't like how big this is right here. So I'm gonna pull this out and let it unwind. To get some fluff back in it so I can draw it out a little bit more. There we go. That's better. Now we can reattach. Beautiful. And then I do it again. Consistency. I can't do it. I think if I ever like, I don't think I can't say never, but I might, it's going to take a long time for me to produce a yarn that is like worthy of making a sweater with or something. This is hard. See, like all I'm getting here is the goat. I'm just gonna keep on. Whew. Someone is blowing up my phone. I am busy. Struggling. Struggling with consistency. And this little bit of floof at the end here. There. Okay. What's going on now? Hello. Oh no, what have we done? There we go. Stretch. Still looking pretty good. 17 messages. What the? Sorry. Well, I guess it's a good time as any to check my email. Email. Yeah. Not the email I'm looking for. Ah. Okay, so this is one of the hazards of like trying to drink or something while you're working with wool is that you're going to get fiber in your face and then you're going to accidentally drink it. Or come close to it. I mean, okay. I think I want to take another little break. I'll be right back, and then I'm going to try to at least get this half done today. So, be right back. And we're back. Sorry for that. Whew. Okay. Put my towel back. I'm going to shake my towel off. Okay. What is that? Oh. All right. Let's go. Hello. We're going this way. Going this way, sweetheart. For some reason, starting out for me is always hard. You know, the other thing is if there's any experienced spinners that are watching, and you want to tell me what I'm doing wrong, that would be fantastic. Because I do need pointers. I did just learn that there's a group in mid-Michigan called the Spinners Flock. And it is a group of people who are into fiber arts and spinning. Um, and they meet the first Saturday of every month. And they have dues. It's $25 a year. Um, and they get together and talk about fiber arts and spinning. And, you know, from what I understand, you can get pointers there. But also people bring lots of stuff to sell. So definitely sounds like a community I need to be a part of. And I certainly would appreciate getting help from people who are more experienced than I am. So while I feel like I'm doing okay on my own, um, it never hurts to have people who know what they're doing. I love the colors so much. I'm freaking out. I'm getting so excited. There, I started it and stopped it with my foot. See that? That is skill right there. I changed the hook, right? I did indeed. Okay, that's fine. I think I will do two separate skeins. I think I will do these 2 ounces and then I'll do the other 2 ounces. Thanks for the follow, Pegman. I really appreciate it. If you hang out for a little bit longer, so oh, now it updated. Okay, we're at 75. Um, 5 more followers, and I'm gonna do a follow. Blah, 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 boo. 5 more followers. I'm gonna do a giveaway, and it'll be whatever you want. Usually, what I do, because I don't really have a lot of merch, um, though that'll be changing soon. I'm gonna get some stickers and stuff made pretty soon, but for now, what I usually do when I do giveaways is just ask people what they prefer. So I've done knitted items and crocheted things, usually small amigurumi type thingies. But I could also make you a custom skein of yarn, or we'll talk about it. So if you hang out, um, I get 5 more followers, and then I'll be doing that giveaway. But I really appreciate it, so thanks. And I also, so I spin, I crochet, I knit, but I'm also just starting to collect animals because I'm starting my new career, which is farming. And so we being my husband and I, are getting some animal cams together. So we just got our chicken cam going, and I've been, experimenting with running that the last couple days, and then it stopped working. So, so, I got to figure out how to make it. I got to figure out what it did. It just isn't working right now. So if you like chickens, and eventually there'll be sheep and goats, and maybe rabbits and bees, um, those are all coming little by little. I've sort of been on a spinning kick lately, though. I didn't have a whole lot of time for it when we lived up north. So now that we're down here, I feel like I can spend a lot more time with it. At this point, I'm totally ignoring any vegetable matter that I'm coming across. I'm just, whatever, I'll get to it when I go to apply it or when I am actually using the yarn. And I probably won't decide what I'm going to use this for until I figure out how much I have of it. Because really, what you're going to use it for depends a lot on yardage. So this is going to be a sock weight or fingering yarn. It's very sleek, and that has a lot to do with the mohair. Um, so there's a ton of things I can make with it, but I can't make, for instance, a very big shawl with it unless I have like 800 yards. I would love to make a shawl with this yarn, but I don't think I'm going to have enough. Not with 4 ounces. Could definitely do a cowl though. I've just got this little piece of fluff left in my hand here. Okay, this is getting annoying at the end here, so I'm gonna fluff this back out. So what I'll do is wrap this. What I'll do is wrap this and then let the end fluff out. So I can, there we go. There we go. That's better. Stretch. So we're almost to 2 ounces. Okay. Get some of that in there. So hi there, everybody. Don't feel shy. Say hi. And, tell me what you like to do. Are you a knitter? Are you a crocheter? Are you a spinner? Do you just like watching these kinds of streams? My name is Amy, or Dr. Lark. Um, I'm a knitter. I'm a crocheter. I'm a spinner. I'm a joker, a toker. No, just kidding. Um, in fact, the only things I don't do with fiber arts is weaving. I don't know how to do that yet. And needle felting, which seems like it would be stupid easy to learn, so I should probably add that to my repertoire pretty soon. But hold on, I gotta crack my ankle. Don't go that direction. No! Hold on, this is easily fixed. Check it out. Thank you. Sometimes the wheel has a mind of its own. What was I talking about? Had a near catastrophe and I lost my train of thought. Whatever. Oh, I was talking about stuff that I do. I also, I used to do a lot more other things. I used to do some watercolor painting, drawing, um, some writing, though when writing became my job, it became a lot less appealing to write. And so I kind of stopped for the most part. I'll get back into it. I do have an outline for a book that I started. But right now, I'm trying to get the farm up and running. So there's only so much that you can do in the fall. Okay, so we moved here in June. Um, but when we moved here, nobody had done anything with the land for over 2 years. So guess what happens when you've got farmland that lays fallow for 2 years? You get a lot of stuff growing up. Um, so we couldn't even get into the back part of our property until my husband was able to go rent a brush hog. And even then, so he was able to make paths. It's totally overgrown. It's mostly goldenrod. That is far and away the most dominant species that we have in our prairie. Um, there's also a lot of spotted knapweed, um, other grasses, and there's a lot of trees. There's white mulberry growing back there, and dogwood, and some crabapple trees and stuff like that. Anyway, um, So I wasn't really able to do anything because everything is so grown over. It has to be tilled under to make it usable. And the first part of the summer here was so wet that, I mean, a lot of people missed out on the beginning of the growing season. So I'll be doing a lot of the plant part of farming next year. So this fall, I'm just trying to get the field ready for, trying to till it to get some of the organic material down into the soil so I can let it sit over the winter, and so that it'll be easier for me to work in the spring. So during the winter, I can be doing a lot of spinning and knitting and stuff, and then also planning out what I want to grow and where I'm going to grow it and where I'm going to get things from. I also need to work on my freaking website, which I'm putting off because I don't like doing that kind of thing. I also don't want to pay someone else to do it, so I have to suck it up and sit down and do it. In fact, I might work on it a little bit tonight. And of course, when I get all that stuff up and going, it'll I will post links. Look at that. I will be posting links here, as well as my other social media presences. So if you like fiber art, you're in the right place. But also, um, once farming stuff starts, I'll be also trying to figure out a way to live stream what I'm doing on the farm, even if it just means doing it from my phone. So it'll be hard for me to chat with people that way, but at least you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, this is getting too thin, so we're gonna do this. I'll let that lay in there until it grabs onto some fiber. There we go. And I grabbed onto too much. That's okay. This is gonna look so beautiful when it's plied. I mean, it looks beautiful now, but just you wait. Okay, hold on. The end is getting too splayed out. Hold on. Yeah, holding that out of my teeth. Do this. Okay. I think it jumped a hook. You see I grabbed onto some of that goat hair and it is so long. I really have to work to keep up with it. And now we're back into the merino. This is a Trixie fiber blend. Uh-oh, something happened. Something happened. And it is not pulling in. So usually what that means is you need to increase tension, which I've done. All right. So what that means is that this part of the yarn will probably be over twisted, but we can try to work some of that out when I'm applying. This part has turned into a big ball. Look, we're just gonna hold on a second here. Just hold your horses while I fix this. See how it did that? It's because these are all 3 separate pieces that were put together using a drum carder, which is like, you know, those carding, what are they called? Carders, carding brushes. It's like that, only on a big barrel thing, and you turn it, and it, yeah, puts all your fibers together. So anyway, these three very different types of, well, actually 2 very different types of fiber were combined on a drum carder, and they are coming apart a little bit. I just got to stop, get things resituated. And that's better. Mm-hmm. The other thing is that the goat hair is much more, or the goat wool is much more hair-like, so it behaves a lot differently than the sheep's wool. I got kind of a chunk there. But as long as you sort of pay attention to what you're doing, you can stay on top of things. There we go. It won't be the most super consistent yarn, but it's okay. Hey, why did it's interesting. I didn't see your comment before. I don't know if you're still around. Oh no! Yes, I looked up for 1 second. I'm just down to the pink. I think I can fit a lot more on this bobbin, so I'm just gonna grab the other one. This is really fighting me. I don't want to be spun into yarn. Too bad. Actually, no, I think I better start a different bobbin. Because it's acting a bit strangely. Come on, we gotta get this last little bit. And then also, I had this little bit over here. Come on, grab onto it. You can do it. Pull this out. And then grab onto that. Connect, connect. Ta-da! This end is so this is a piece of junk. Okay. Get in there. Then we're gonna go whoop. Woohoo! Oh, it's 2 ounces. So here's the other 2 ounces. So this much. Hello. This much roving or this is combed top preparation actually will produce this much singles yarn. And it's quite thin. I tried to go for consistency. It's not totally consistent. Um, Part of that is because I'm still learning. Part of that is because it's the blend of merino wool and what you call it, goat hair. Angora, or it's also called something else. I can't remember. Anyway, um, so I was actually really struggling with this because the goat's hair is so much longer. The staple is so much longer than the merino that it wants to it basically pulls on itself. So but it's making some really pretty yarn. So what I'm going to do now is, I do. I have a free bobbin here. So I am going to take this one off very carefully. Okay, so there it is. Let's see if I can get a closer shot here. I've got too many moving parts. Okay, you see that? Isn't it pretty? Come on, I can never get the camera to focus in on anything. There. So, I mean, it's fairly consistent, but a lot of those inconsistencies will come out when I ply it. So I love the colors. There's also a lot of vegetable matter in here because they didn't clean it very well. But again, it'll come out. So I've got this bobbin of 2 ounces. I'm going to do the other 2 ounces on a separate bobbin, and then I think I'm just going to treat them as separate, and I'll make 2 skeins. And then what I'll do is count the length to see how much I have, and then I can decide what I'm going to do with it once I know how long it is. So I was really going for length with this though, because um, I mean, if you only have a small amount of yarn, there's not a whole lot you can do with it. I'll show you an example of that. Let me put this back on first. So this is the next one I'm going to use. It's already got a leader on it. Come on. So put this in here. Gauge the drive band. Get on there. And it popped off the wheel. Of course it popped off the wheel. Okay, it's on there. And then we go here. Like that. All ready to go. I like to fill the bobbin from the top to the bottom. You don't have to do it that way. There's no real reason why I do it that way, but I do. Let me draw this through the orifice, and now I'm all set up to start again after I tighten this up. And so you don't want it to be too tense, but you want some tension on it. There you go. Okay, what was I going to show you? I was going to show you what happens when um, you have two little to do anything with. So, you know, I have lots of family members who know that I really love knitting and stuff, and so sometimes they'll buy me yarn, but they don't buy me enough yarn to do anything with. So, like, here is some yarn I got for Christmas last year, and first of all, I hate it. It's it's thick and thin. Um, it's only one skein. It I don't think it looks nice. It's a singles, which means it's not plied. Um, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? Like, can you see? What am I gonna do with that? Make dreads out of it? I don't know. So it's just been hanging out in my stash because I don't know what the hell to do with this. I would not have bought this for myself. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this because I have no idea. Um, yeah. So if you have a knitter or crocheter in your life and you're like, oh, I think it'd be pretty sweet to buy them some yarn, make sure that you buy them enough yarn to. And if you have no idea, say like, hey, what kind of things are you into making right now? And how much yarn are you going to need to make that thing? So there it is. I hate it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And it's already been washed and stuff, so it's pretty much stuck together. I don't know. So, or like, here's another example. Whoops. The same person actually got me this yarn, which I don't hate. It's super cool. This is actually banana fiber from Darn Good Yarn. But it's one skein. It's hardly anything. What am I supposed to do with this? It's very beautiful. It's not enough to make anything with. So, but they only got me one skein of it. So I can either, buy more of it on my own or I can just hang it. So it goes in my stash and I hang on to it. Um, then again, this one is also from the same Christmas gift. And you can barely see it. This is a nice sock yarn. I actually have the information here. It's from Sheep Uruguay, or Sheep UI, and there's 438 yards in this. So I can easily make a pair of socks with this one skein. So if you are planning on buying yarn for yourself or for someone else, make sure that you buy enough. Oh, hey, check that out. I had another bobbin just hiding back there. That makes me feel better. Okay, I'm going to start this next one, but I'm going to, how long has it been? It's been about 3.5 hours. I'm going to have to start dinner soon. Also, my stomach is giving me some problems, so I'm going to go pretty soon. I'm going to see if I can turn the chicken cam back on at some point. I got to figure out what's going on with it, though. Yeah, my stomach hurts. My stomach has sort of not been right since I had my surgery 10 days ago. So, okay. So let us start skein number 2, shall we? Then I'm going to try to smoosh it together a bit. Looks like we're getting some, dropping some frames here. All right. So we start with our leader yarn. This is just a piece of sock yarn, actually commercial sock yarn that I had laying around. I'm using it because I really like the width. This is sort of the width that I'm going for. What's crazy about this, so this is a commercially prepared sock yarn. I think it's Patton's. This is 4-ply, So think about how thin that has to be. It's crazy. And actually, master spinners can get it that thin. I cannot, at least not consistently. I can get it that thin right before it breaks. But this is sort of the size that I'm going for is a sock yarn that I'm then going to ply. So it'll then be more of a sport or fingering. Something is not right because the bobbin is not turning. There we go. I see what's going on. Okay. So we're going to start. We're going to start just by touching the fibers to the leader yarn. Some people tie it on, and I don't do that. I find that it's not effective, or it's just as effective to do it this way. I'm having an issue. What is my issue here? It really is not turning smoothly. So usually the beginning, honestly, usually the beginnings and the ends of my skeins are usually pretty rough. There we go. That's much better. It wasn't spinning free. It's raining again. It's been raining a lot in the last several days. I'm just like sort of ignoring the vegetable matter at this point. I got sick of like stopping and picking it out every 2 seconds. It's a pretty good thickness right now. I'm pretty pleased. She said as it started to. Oh, everything went wrong all at once. Oh man. Try to slow down with the feet. Oh my god, what's happening?